Hey guys, welcome back. We got some Dear White People, some Kimmy Schmidt, and we're going to be explaining K-pop. All coming up next.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
All
right, translate for us, Rick.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what English speaking music is sometimes, so.
So very catchy. Who is this?
BTS. If you guys don't know, this is like one of the biggest K-pop bands that's crossing over to America. That's why Ashley Chaney has no friggin' clue.
These dance moves.
Because Ashley ain't in the know, but we're going to let you guys in the know here in a second. Welcome back. You're watching Netflix Picks. I'm Rick Hong, and I've got Ashley Chaney next to me.
Hi, friends. Good to see you.
Steve Kaufmann.
Hello, everyone, and welcome.
And Amy Cassandra Martinez.
Oh, hi. Didn't see you there. Just busy jamming out to BTS. Hi.
Do you know BTS?
I know them.
Gosh darn it.
But
See,
I've
even
never...
Steve Kaufmann knows BTS.
Do you know BTS also?
I know that this is K-pop, and I know people are into K-pop. And this was before the explained thing that we're going to talk about later.
Steve's actually a huge K-pop fan. He's told me on the side.
K-pop.
He's being modest about
My
it.
DL.
And this is Anthony in our booth. Oh, wait, they can hear you, right?
Yes, they can hear me. What's
Yeah,
up,
yeah.
everybody? My name is Anthony Becerra. Not Steve.
Yeah, not Steve.
Which Steve never talks anyways, at least in our booth anyway. But so okay, we're talking Netflix originals, film and television for this week. So last week we had someone in our chat, and please feel free to jump in our chat as well. Ask about Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, and Steve Kaufmann, I think, has watched the whole series, watched the most recent, and so I'm gonna let him take it away.
This most recent half a season of Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt was very, very good. I would argue season 1 to season 2. Season 2 is when you would have expected it to lose steam, and it didn't. It didn't lose steam at all as a show until season 3. We're getting the first half of season 4. It was okay. She settled into a new environment, and then episode 3 did a parody of a docuseries.
Parody of a docuseries.
Like a parody of similar to like a Making the Murderer, like a Netflix style docuseries,
Right.
murderer docuseries. Yes,
Like documentary now.
similar. It was similar to
Or
that.
Making a Murderer, right?
American Vandal.
It was.
American Vandal's good,
It was like, but it was one whole episode based around the John Hamm character that imprisoned her. That someone made a documentary about him, drawing light to whether or not she was actually kidnapped and charged in what he was actually charged in. And it was that was the turning point for me in the whole season, because that was actually the rest of the leg for the following 3 episodes.
Well, how many episodes of this?
It was only 6, if I remember correctly.
Okay, so then it'll be 13 total.
It'll be 13 total whenever
Okay.
they get around to it, because we don't have a date for the other half of season 4.
What?
These long tenured Netflix comedies, Arrested Development and Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, came out in the same week, and they both did a half season with no official release date for the other half of the season.
I wonder what the play is there on Netflix's part, just to get us hooked and get us wanting more, or what?
Or
I
just
they don't have
just
time.
availability of
Yeah.
actors.
They can't afford 13. They either can't afford 13 seasons, or literally they can't. Like, everyone involved is so important, they
I
can't
think
do
they can afford
13.
it. They can definitely afford it. It's Netflix. They have crazy deep pockets, but probably availability of the cast.
Yeah.
'Cause she's doing some movies and stuff, I think.
Ellie Kemper.
Oh, Ellie
Yeah.
Kemper, and then Tina Fey, one of the show, the creator, and one of the showrunners. She's always fairly busy.
Oh, that Tina? What's
No,
she up to?
Tina.
Tony's Tina.
Now, did you watch Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt as it was released, or did you binge?
I watched it as it was released.
As it
I've
was.
always been a huge
Wow.
fan of this show.
Yeah.
30 Rock before it, that was just very much my style of humor.
Because Pinot Noir is your favorite drink, right?
Yes, caviar. Pinot Noir caviar.
No,
Yes,
no,
sir.
I like season 1. I mean, I watched it when it came out. I like season 1. And then season 2, I kind of it lost a little steam for me. So and then just as Netflix drops all these other things, it's it's hard to go back, which I will. I probably at some point will try to go back and revisit it. But
So just basically hang through season 3
And
if you want to
season-
get to season 4.
Yes, and I'm not saying season 3 is bad by any stretch of the imagination. I am saying that it finally lost steam. Whereas most shows like that lose their steam in season 2. They
yeah,
don't know-
because
they
right.
don't know what they're about. They laid it all on the line in season 1. That they didn't have anything left over. And I think that's a testament to someone like Tina Fey, who had been there, done that. That she knows, no, I'm Tina Fey. This relationship feels good. I'm gonna make something they'll like. I'm not going to give them everything in season 1. Like, I have to leave myself something more to do. And I think that's why season 2 was also so good.
Well,
Yeah, same team as 30 Rock. It's like
Yeah.
Robert Carlock and Robert Carlyle, or Robert Carlock, I think, and then Tina Fey.
well, I would say that even just general, you know, your average sitcom, I think it starts finding its footing in the second and third seasons where they just really get going. So stick in there.
Well, like a cast and a crew usually
Something.
find that meld,
Yeah.
like after the first season into the second season. It's usually the writing and the creative juices that aren't there. But Kimmy Schmidt, season 4, they're still doing it. They're breaking season 4 up into different pieces, and
Just like you were saying that they were doing with Arrested Development season 5, where they dropped half the season, and they're going to drop the other half later on, possibly.
and I like it because they get the media cycle. They get the media cycle of Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt or Arrested Development in the same week, but then they don't have to have paid for all those episodes, paid for and produced all those episodes at once. That I think it's kind of genius. Because then you'll get the same media cycle. Because we don't actually care if it's a whole number season again. We're like, it's back. There's more things.
Unbreakable.
But like, as long as it's not weekly like Hulu does, I think Netflix users will be happy to be like, more.
Well, speaking of a long-time Netflix series, or somewhat, so they released season 1 of Sense8, and then they released Sense8 season 2. However, they decided to cancel it. There was this big uproar. So what they decided to go back and do was to give everybody some closure. They created a finale which dropped, and I'm not going to talk about it too much here because I only saw season 1, and we also will have an after show for that. So, but if you guys want to, like, if you guys are fans of season 1, season 2, AfterBuzz did cover those. You guys can go back until then, and like when I know when AfterBuzz is going to do the Sense8 finale, you'll be able to talk and chime in there. I think with I think Carrie Lane was one of the people that was on that panel.
That feels right.
Did you guys watch Sense8? Did you watch season 1 to 2?
I watched season 1, and then went into season 2, and it's really interesting because like one of the main characters from season 1, I guess, got an attitude about how much they should be paid or something. So they actually switched that actor out with somebody else. And they make a reference to that, which is kind of funny.
Oh, that's good. They made a reference to it though. When they pretend like nothing happened and people are just supposed to accept it, it's always really weird.
I don't like when they insult my intelligence in a show like that where they recast it and just don't acknowledge it. Like I think we've learned audiences will get over it if you just give us one line of like, oh my god, that transfigure thingamabobber made you look so different.
Yeah. Or like,
That's all we need.
puberty's a
Yeah, like
stinker,
any
isn't
of
it?
that, any of that to recast a character, it's just and it reminds me of old Western TV shows when they hire an actor, the first scene they would shoot is their death scene, so that none of them would be able to have any negotiation power.
I never knew that. That's such a cool piece of Hollywood tidbit.
That they would
That's
shoot
awesome.
that they like
and
welcome.
so crappy for an actor.
True.
Welcome to set. You're Sheriff Jones.
It's
We
like-
hope to have a really long and beautiful relationship with you. Our
And
first
you're
scene,
dead.
our first scene will be where you get shot, and we're gonna shoot it in a way that we can have whoever shot you fit the context that you're getting a little mouthy.
Welcome to Hollywood, kid.
Well,
You did.
another series that dropped a few weeks ago. I believe it was May 4th. We didn't get around to it, so I'm letting you guys know now that I watched season 1 of Dear White People and season 2. They're waiting a season 3. I was lucky enough to go to the carpet this past week at the Paley Center for Media, and I got to talk with most of the cast except for one actor who I found out was shooting a movie, and it stars Logan Browning as kind of like the main actress, and like there's a picture of her probably gonna be coming up in a second. She has the most amazing eyes.
Yeah, her eyes are
She's
gorgeous.
But this is a really fun show because she basically plays a DJ, and it's called Dear White People. It's based on a movie that they changed into a TV series, which I found that happened very organically, very not too much. Like the creator didn't have to try to shop it around too much. Like there was already people wanted to do this as a TV series. And what I like about the show is each episode covers one character. So they kind of give you like a main storyline, and then each episode covers like so that you kind of get to know the character pretty well.
I was totally surprised when I watched the show knowing very little about it, and I didn't know anything about the movie or sort of its origin story, but I was expecting Dear White People, like I was expecting it to just be a throwdown, and I am halfway through season 1 and really enjoying it, so I've got a lot of catching up to do, but I'm really enjoying the show and completely have been surprised by it. Was not at all what I was expecting in the best way.
Yeah, it's a half hour. It's a quick half hour
yeah.
and stuff. And like it's not I mean, I would even say because it focuses on one character in each episode that it's not one of those things where like you don't feel the need necessarily to binge it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to be like, "Oh my gosh, now I've got to watch episode 2. Now I got to watch episode 3." It's like you can casually just like kind of get through it if you want to.
And it's an easy watch for me. But I mean, do you guys all caught up or have seen some of it?
I haven't seen it at all yet.
Yeah.
It's up there for me.
Yeah.
I saw the first episode and I loved it. And
Right?
I think the writing's fantastic.
Yeah.
And the way it's shot is just gorgeous to look at. But I just didn't continue watching it because there's a lot of stuff.
No, I
a lot
don't.
of
No,
stuff.
that's the thing is we have a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
and so like I'm very happy to have gone to the carpet for that, talk to the cast because it let me catch up and watch the whole both
Exactly.
seasons, and because we haven't covered it, and it's important. Like this type of programming is
Oh,
important
yeah.
for a Netflix to
Definitely.
have. And like I kept telling them on the carpet, I said, "Hey, season 3." Season 3, like even though they haven't announced anything, I just kept saying, "Hey, season 3," because it's like there's
Trying
no.
to put it out there.
Yeah, there's no.
Good
I mean,
vibes.
so far I've been right. I said that everything sucked. That didn't get another season.
That's
I
funny.
said Glow
Alexa
was
and
great. It got a
Katie.
season 2. I said
Alexa
One Day at a
and
Time
Katie.
was great. It got a season 3.
Alexa
So
and
I'm going
Katie.
3-4-3 right now by saying Dear White People season 3.
Everything
Alexa and
Sucks
Katie.
was amazing.
Oh
you.
my gosh.
It was
It was
fantastic.
so amazing. They didn't pick it up for season 2.
No,
And
but-
That's
that's
'cause not
why
enough-
Anthony is not a regular on our show.
It's because
Ever.
not enough people were actually able to sit through the whole season to realize
Exactly.
realize how great that show actually was, and it's sad because it was a story that you thought has been told so much before.
Because
but
it was a ripoff of Stranger Things.
no,
No.
completely wrong. It's the coming of age of a young woman and who happens to be lesbian and how she deals with that.
No. See, what they tried to do is they tried to interweave it with the 90s and create nostalgia from that. But since they already did that with Stranger Things with the 80s, it just wasn't going to happen.
No.
Just like I keep telling you,
Name-
bro,
name-
quit making fetch trying to happen.
Name one lesbian
always
character in Stranger Things. Name one actual
The girl
political
that got
issue.
killed.
Name one social
Barb?
issue, or like
Barb, we do not know if Barb.
I mean, did
We
anybody?
know
I mean,
Barb's
for
a lesbian.
Halloween, did anybody dress up as anybody for Everything Sucks? Of course not.
We
But how many
haven't gotten
Barbs
there
did you see
yet.
for Halloween? I mean,
We
Here's the
haven't
thing:
gotten there
nobody,
yet.
nobody knows that it's such a great story because nobody could stick through it. And whose fault is that, Anthony?
You guys.
No, you've got
You
a
guys.
limited amount of time to hook us. There is so much stuff to watch, and if you can't get us early on, sorry, we're not.
No,
gonna stick
here's the
around.
thing.
You
We
guys are
get
being-
heartbroken because, yes, there are shows that we love that you guys might love, and unfortunately, they just don't get the light of day. For a second season, it's not fair. Just like some were dismissed by you, Rick Hong, like Alexa and Katie, and they
I
are
didn't
getting
dismiss
a-
it. That was her. That was Ashley Chaney. I didn't dismiss it. I said it's not my demographic. I didn't dismiss it. I like that
That's
storytelling.
good.
I like the storytelling of two friends and cancer's like the background of the whole thing. Like, no. I didn't knock that. Go back and watch your episodes,
No,
Emmy Martinez,
no.
because it was Ashley Chaney that said, I tried watching the pilot and then it didn't
you
work
guys
for
seeing
me,
the
so I
fingers
had
here?
to disagree with you.
First of all, we're all on a team here. I'd like to remind everybody. And second of all, I said that it wasn't age appropriate for me or anyone on this panel, but that for people,
But I'm a child at heart, and I can.
Except
I
she
can
turned 36 last
appreciate-
week, so I don't get it. But
Whatever. Season 2, Alexa and Katie. But also.
so Amy's
if
1 for
you-
1. She's got one that didn't get one season. I'm 3 for 3. So
That's cute. Yes, but if you like something, let people know while you're watching it that you like it. Tell everyone.
Well, I mean, this is sort of the curse of Netflix, right? We don't know how they're rating things, so there's no real way to tell what are they basing whether a season gets picked up again on. At whose whim are they deciding?
well, it's their analytics.
Yeah, but those analytics are all private. We don't really know. If I were on one of those shows, I'd be like, "Show me the numbers." I'd want to know.
You can handle the
They're
numbers.
very private about their numbers.
I know,
It's
I mean, it's-
historically very private. They'll just say you're doing great.
I'll tell you what, if I was
Everything's
one of the actors on the show, the only numbers that I want to see is my paycheck.
Oh, please.
I don't care about the ratings. As long as it gets picked up, I care
Wow.
about my paycheck numbers, and that's it.
But to Amy's point, I feel like they are listening to in social media. I feel like they're listening to what's trending and what they're liking. So to Amy's point, if you like something, maybe say something on social media or here in the comment section of the Netflix Picks Show. Wherever you want to leave your thoughts and feelings about shows that are on Netflix.
Yes.
Well, I agree
Do that.
I'm sure they have a proprietary analytic that uses
Oh, yeah.
social media and probably even shows and videos like this to determine what is having a cultural or social impact.
Well, let's be real. This is probably the first show that they check out to
This-
see what
no,
everybody's watching.
That was a humble brag. I was pretty much saying they check this show, then search for it on social media,
Exactly,
and
that's
then
how it
they
works.
check the actual views and how long people viewed.
So
Copy that.
I mean, so something else that dropped was, and like that's why we opened the show with BTS, a K-pop group. And there's a series on Netflix called Explained, and they talk about all these like different topics. And one of them that I happened to watch was like a quick 20 minutes was about K-pop. Amy, you watched it.
I did. Yeah, okay. How fantastic is this show? First of all, Explained. It explains everything to you in 13 or so minutes. So it's kind of
This one was 20 minutes, but
20. Okay.
but quick,
Well,
but right,
it
but
felt
like
like
no,
13.
but quick, but really fast. It's like if you just want to like just learn, like just
Exactly. Well, it's like a nicer, like a high quality YouTube series where if you want to learn something about something in a rather, short amount of time, bam, explain like K-pop.
So like cultural phenomenons, or like, or are they all?
Anything. Their first episode of theirs I saw was on monogamy. But I learned that was actually the third episode. I feel they did one about editing cells. Their most recent one they dropped this Wednesday was about cryptocurrency.
Yes.
And they
Oh,
drop
need to
them
watch.
every Wednesday, which is kind of rare for Netflix
to be
shows
dropping
to be a
regularly,
weekly
yeah.
show. But they drop every Wednesday, and I think they have 4 or 5.
5 episodes so far. 14 minutes, 20 minutes, 18, 17, 16. Super easy to just watch all of them and just learn so much in such a short amount of time. Also, K-pop. I did not know this whole thing about BTS. Why they were using I know this word. What is it? Not acronyms. Acronyms?
anagrams or
No.
No,
Just
acronym, when the words,
acronym.
the letters stand for another word.
Kind of.
Yeah, that's
kind of, but not really, because I don't think it really means anything. It's just so that K-pop groups would be
they
like
would be able to
here.
cross over because
Exactly.
the original K-pop group was this band called Sotaeji and the Boys.
That's
and the
fantastic,
problem
yeah.
right there is it's kind of like, okay, I know the boys part, but the
Yeah.
Sotaeji part, even for a guy like me who is Korean, I've always known about them, but it's easier to say, right, it's easier to say BTS.
How cool is that? So they're doing that for multiple K-pop.
And that's why you got
Yeah.
Psy, he's, PSY.
Yeah.
Gangnam Style, right? That's,
Oh,
but
I
that's,
was
I was
he's
going to open up
K-pop,
with
right?
that.
I love that song.
Yeah, he's K-pop. I mean, he's not quite K-pop, but like he's a part of the K-pop phenomenon for sure.
'Cause he
K-pop
definitely-
is usually like, yeah, it's basically like America's version of the Backstreet Boys and Sync, and then same thing for like girl groups like
Pussycat Dolls.
Fifth Dimension,
Fifth
that
Harmony.
have
Fifth
broken
Harmony.
Fifth Harmony. Yeah, sorry, Fifth Dimension
Fifth
was
Dimension.
a 70s group. Sorry, yeah.
Oh, guys.
It's okay.
Up and away, my beautiful. Okay.
I've never heard that song before.
Really?
Like,
Yeah.
Anthony, find up and away.
Rick's age is, I just want to pinpoint
No,
it
I'm just
down.
cultured. I'm just cultured.
Poised. We're gonna take all these
I'm like
episodes.
Ashley here. What's K-pop?
I know K-pop, and I actually have seen BTS like and a lot of social
Right?
media, but also to me, coming from the film world, BTS, as you guys know, or do you guys know, behind
Yeah.
the scenes. So I did not put together what BTS was, and I'm like, oh, it looks like a boy group, but I didn't realize that they were a K-pop group. I just thought they were a boy band, and now I know, and I'll listen for some of their songs, which I certainly could not identify.
Well, and sometimes they'll throw in English words in there.
Are they playing on the radio, the U.S. radio play? Are they getting a lot of
Not
U.S.
that
radio
I've
play?
heard.
I'll be here and there probably, but at the same time, like, probably not even a radio play anymore because you can download music.
Yeah, like Spotify. I
They're
mean,
probably on Spotify. That's
right.
probably definitely a
so
thing.
we're all gonna be jamming out to BTS. Is what we're saying.
Cool.
Yeah.
like
And but Steve, you also watched. I watched this. You watched it. David Letterman, Howard Stern.
Oh, this was a very, very good interview. I guess being born in '86, I'll just be out with my age versus Rick Hong, who isn't. I grew up in just the right portion. I was 14 at the time Howard Stern was on just like local syndicated radio at a time when like he was pretty much making the show for 14-year-olds, but it was an NC-17 show.
Yeah, he's always been a naughty.
Yeah, like he's
kinda
just
guy.
a very naughty guy, and like he talked a lot about, and like he did that movie and he wrote that book, and like he was
At that point, he was the king of all media.
Yeah,
he had like
he
a number one
genuinely
hit.
was.
The movie was called Private
Private
Parts.
Parts.
The book was called Private Parts. At one point in time, he had the best like number one album, number one movie, and number one book. And he was dubbing himself the king of all media.
Yeah, and like he was. I always found him to be a very influential person because he like it's very rare do you see someone like that just kind of straight up breaking the mold. And he talked. One of the more interesting things I heard him talk about on this interview was he left terrestrial radio to join Sirius XM, or I think it was just XM
Because the
at the
FCC
time.
kept coming and trying to find him,
Yeah,
and like
and it was just not worth the trouble because we live in a time where like you, if I'm just on a satellite radio, you don't have authority or jurisdiction. And he gets there, and I think he always assumed there would be a censor because his entire career he'd been up against a censor. And then he gets there, and they're like, whatever you want to do. And it really, like, creatively changed what he wanted to do or think or say. Because he's like, well, but what would my show... My show always had, like, an antagonist. What does my show look like without an antagonist? What does my art look like, if you will, if I'm just...
There's
me.
nobody to fight you on it, yeah.
Yeah, there's no one to fight me. It's the internet. It's Wild Wild West. I'm just going to do how I feel, do what I want, how I feel. It was a very good interview.
No, and I mean, what's too is like David Letterman is interviewing him, and you find out that there's a rivalry, which I'm not going to like talk about
yeah.
because you should just go watch this and hear about it because it's pretty amazing.
These two.
I love when two media personalities have to interview each other. Like when when an Ellen has to interview, or not has to, but gets to interview an Oprah, and when these two people whose jobs it is to interview other people get interviewed. It always makes for a good interview.
I like that.
No, and the great thing with the Lettermans is that like once a month somebody comes out. There's Tina Fey, George Clooney, Jay-Z, Howard
President
Stern.
Obama.
So President Obama,
Great
exactly.
one. Cried the
So it is like the big actual like Netflix film release for this week is a movie called Alex Strangelove.
Yes.
And if you liked Love, Simon, this is a version of Love, Simon. It's kind of appropriate that's coming out this week. I mean, like, there's a Pride marches going on right now in West Hollywood. Like, I think 500,000 people are partying it up, you know, celebrating it. And like, this is kind of about a boy who doesn't know yet that he's gay, and he is with his like best friend who's the girl, and like they start a relationship, and then he meets an older guy, and that's when he has to start questioning his sexuality. It's great. I would definitely say that you should stick to the end and watch the actual credits. You won't see Ashley Chaney's name in it, which is beautiful.
You won't see my name in it.
But you'll see something beautiful about the end credits, so watch the movie. Ashley, you watch it. What do you think?
I did. You know, and it's funny because you told me to watch it with like saying, okay, this is basically Netflix's version of Love, Simon, which I saw. I think a couple people on our panel saw Love, Simon. And it was great film, but that's in the theater. So Rick was like, this is the Love, Simon of Netflix. I'm like, awesome, love that movie. I'm going to get down on it. Within the first 5 minutes, I was cracking up out loud, like laugh out loud laughing. Like there was some really, I guess I have the humor of a 12-year-old boy because there were some really like crass jokes that I was like, bah, ha, ha. So in a lot of ways, I really enjoyed Love, Simon. I think Love, Simon was super eloquent and sweet and very touching. And this movie was like, almost like a college frat movie. In fact, I want to check the rating on.
Well, this one's funny because this is actually, I had to look because when you're watching something like Netflix, it said TV MA, which means TV mature.
Okay.
But if you had to do it by a theatrical system, it was rated R.
It
It's rated
definitely
R.
is rated R because I wanted to say like, oh, we could recommend this to our high school age people, but it's actually pretty mature in some of its content, especially. It's discovering your sexuality. There's some very descriptive sex stuff happening, and if you're cool with your kids watching that under 17, you just know. I mean, they probably have heard all these things before. So
I mean, the big thing about this movie is it has a lot of heart to it, just like Love, Simon did.
It does.
And that's like for more than anything else, it's like probably like something to watch and something to learn from for sure. So
don't write it off if you think it's a teen movie. Is what I would say. That would be my advice. Like if you think it's just a movie for teenagers, I would say don't write it off. There's a lot of also some good entertaining bits in there, but lots of heart, like Rick says. It's good.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
So we're gonna move on to non-Netflix releases, movies and television for the week. And Amy, you watched a couple.
Yes, that is 2, and I did do that. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna start off with a movie that you should actually stay away from.
Oh, I love it when Amy gives us stay away from picks.
So you know it's bad.
You know it's bad when Amy doesn't like it.
You know it's bad. And here's the sad part, guys. Yeah.
This is so up your alley.
See, the
I
only
know.
person in this cast that
know.
makes me want to watch is Ali Larder, but keep going.
So it's Matt LeBlanc, Ali Larder. There's Chevy Chase and Adam Rodriguez, which here's the thing, I didn't get that far.
Ooh, burn.
Funny enough, their little slogan right there, it says "Love hurts," and this hurts so much. And I'll stop it at there.
No, give us more. Give us more.
I was gonna be very
aggressive.
not
Do
PG-13. But okay, so here's the thing. Clicked on it, looked cute, literally just by the poster, and I think there was a strong recommendation. Like
from your percentages?
Match.
Okay.
Yeah, and I can actually tell you what that is, but 10 minutes in, and I was literally like, I cannot continue.
Keep in mind,
That's
guys,
amazing.
too, this is Amy Martinez, who says that she usually tries to give things half an hour. So if you can't give something 30 minutes and only 10 minutes, that says a lot.
See, weirdly enough, it doesn't give me the percentage anymore. So maybe,
Well, maybe when you turn your TV on, it will. Yeah.
maybe yes. Here, it's okay. This is what it says: burned by love in the past, Charlie swears off all romance. Will his jealous streak derail his shot at happiness with the disarmingly lovely Molly? It's more not so much about what it's about in those 10 minutes that I did see, but it was how they were going about it, and it just turned me off completely. And I was like, I have so many other things to watch on Netflix. I'm gonna like spend my time better by doing that.
It's like how I turned off Ibiza.
Yeah.
Whatever. No, Pizza was really good. But yeah, so
See, this
was
is the
cute.
rating.
Like,
This is our scale.
Keep it moving. Keep it moving.
this is like so no. I'm sorry.
So
But
no
know
on
that
Lovesick. Pass.
There are multiple things on Netflix that are called Lovesick. This is the one with Matt LeBlanc
Okay.
and Ali Larder.
And also, so I would love to recommend the actual, the original Lovesick that I know that's on screen right now is this is Lovesick. Originally supposed to be called Scrotal Recall, which is fantastic.
Scroll recall.
The
You
premise
had
is
me.
brilliant. I love it. So if you see the man on the left in blue there, his name is Dylan, and Dylan on the first episode goes to the doctor, and it turns out that he has chlamydia. And so the doctor tells him, you have chlamydia, you have to make a list of all the women that you have slept with in the past and tell them that you have chlamydia and to check themselves, right?
yeah.
Oh, everybody's worst. nightmare.
And it's so brilliant because he makes the list, right? And with every girl that he goes into, it's a whole episode dedicated to that girl, how they met, how they had sex, how they how their relationship
did
blossomed, and how it inevitably ended. And
Okay.
it's a brilliant study. I mean,
Watch
I
that.
really enjoy it. Yeah.
This sounds
No,
awesome.
that's
Yeah,
not the
it
Matt
sounds a little
It-
bit like My Name is Earl in terms of like trying to like.
In a sense, with the whole list thing, sure, but it's much better than that. It's a British comedy. It's only 6 episodes a season,
Oh, I love
and they're
British
only roughly 20 to 30 minutes long.
And if you
thanks for the
guys
rec.
watch ABC's The Good Doctor, Antonia Thomas is also in The Good Doctor, and she's also in this. This is
Right.
actually before she got her American television debut.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And I remember I originally saw her on Misfits, I believe.
Misfits.
That's
cool.
that's
Another
on-
British show.
Yeah, that's on Hulu. That's an hour long. But anyways,
Well, thank you. I'm excited.
Steve, you watched a. I mean, this one's
Amy's
almost a
got
hidden
one.
gem, but
Amy's
it's,
got
but it's actually a
another
non-Netflix
one.
release, huh?
I still
Oh, wait,
have
wait, Amy's got another one. Keep going.
Yes. This is really quickly. This one's a good one that you should watch if you happen to not see it. This is, I would also say it's kind of a hidden gem, but I have another hidden gem later. So this is called Skin Wars. There are 3 seasons. It's a competition show. It's about body painters. And it's really cool because it talks about actual like paint and what is it? Spray, like the spray one, the airbrush paint. And it's fun. I can't even say that much about it because I only saw the first episode, but it's fantastic, and I made it all the way through the whole episode, and it was like 42 minutes. RuPaul is one of the judges, and Rebecca Romaine is actually the host of
Oh,
it.
fantastic.
So yeah, Mystique is hosting something. They have 3 seasons.
She knows about body paint.
Yeah.
And Sports Illustrated body paint, yep.
So there's 3
I left it
seasons.
open.
And yeah, they're about 40 or so minutes an episode, but it's really fun, and it's very interesting to see them paint on people.
is it safe to say that people who like Face Off on Sci-Fi would like this
That's
show?
what I'm
Yes.
feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's,
Oh my
that's what I almost
gosh.
thought that it was.
And Face Off was so good.
Is this a Netflix series or is this
This-
on Sci-Fi?
No, this is from one of the networks that
Okay, that's
that
what I-
transferred
Yeah.
over to Netflix. So not a Netflix series, no.
Okay.
Which is great. I like having competition shows on Netflix because then you can just binge them, and then
Yeah.
you're like, "Yay, my
Yeah.
favorite person won!" And then you move on to the next season.
Although if you miss, I'm one of those weird people who like to Google stuff while they're watching.
No.
But you can't if you're watching season 1 and they have 3 seasons, you can't like
You can't touch the internet. You can't even look at it.
you can't.
Yeah.
I'm curious what that person's. Oh,
No.
he came in 3rd. Great.
You can't
Cool.
even like look to see what movies somebody he worked with has been in. Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
it's a
you're-
dangerous world.
But do watch
Spoilers.
this. Watch this. Watch Skin Wars.
So here's a good one that came out this week or last week. Coco.
Hey!
Coco. We love Coco.
Mama Coco. I actually hate that movie. But,
Really?
Oh yeah.
Wait,
Okay.
what?
Because I was rewatching.
You
I
hate-
rewatched Coco this week. I love.
Wait,
I
you
love Coco.
hated
Hate's a
Coco.
very
Yeah.
strong
Coco?
word.
Sure did.
The
yeah.
Oscar-winning
Come
animation
at me.
movie
Yeah, come at me.
Coco.
The most predictable movie, Coco.
What?
Produced by the Pixar. Yeah, come at me. Yep. Yep, I'm
my
ready
heart
for
is
it.
See, she
full
doesn't
right
like
now.
BTS. She
I
doesn't
didn't
like
say I didn't like
Coco.
BTS, but I am
Nah,
definitively
kidding,
saying I'm
kidding.
anti-Coco. Sue me.
Wait,
Anti.
no, wait, okay. But of the
Wow.
animation movies, and which
Yes.
one was the one that you did like?
Animation movie of
That
what?
were nominated.
For, this past year?
Yeah, if you didn't like
wasn't
Coco,
that
like
many.
what,
I can't
which-
remember what was nominated this
Loving
year.
Vincent was like my
Short.
second
the
pick.
Vincent Van Gogh one. Okay.
Yeah.
Ferdinand.
Ferdinand.
Ferdinand,
Bread-
Baby Bob.
Breadwinner.
Boss Baby.
The
Breadwinner.
breadwinner.
Yeah, the
Okay.
breadwinner.
Breadwinner
See,
was a short, I thought.
So, but let's talk
Anyway.
about Coco.
Oh, Coco was I think Coco was amazing. I like what I like what Disney Pixar has done. I think it got to a point around WALL-E where I was just hoping they would get one wrong. Just because they had kept getting them right, that I was like, can
Dinosaur.
Pixar Disney
They've gotten quite a few wrong.
not before WALL-E though. Like it's taken them a really long, like their on base percentage is just insane.
Yeah, they've got more hits than misses for sure in terms of any studio ever.
And I think if you want to consider the purism of Pixar properties, I don't think there was a miss. Toy Story 2 would be close. But generally speaking, I think Pixar, before like Disney completely engulfed them, just made hit after hit.
They made some great films, including one I saw this weekend, Incredibles 2, which isn't out until next week, but it was good. I'll say that much.
Well,
And
For a
Amy
sequel
saw it
and
too,
everything.
but that's not this
Did it.
show. So.
I know.
I haven't
see
seen
it?
it. I just went to the premiere.
So what's good with that hot take on Coco?
Yeah, Anthony and I are like, what?
What can I say? I just every single piece of it was predictable, and I thought we could have done better from a story perspective.
Really?
Sorry. Yeah, I did.
I to those who haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil anything by saying I thought the twist was actually unforeseen.
Oh no.
So
I mean,
basically,
but
you
what
didn't like the movie because
I thought
you
it was the story. I
predictable.
thought it was a weak story. That was a very predictable story.
That and the story alone was enough for you to be like, I hate it. Not even the fact that it's like accurate, like, and it's talking about very nice the cultural things.
It was beautifully done. I know. Trust me, no one knows better than me the work that it takes to make an animated film. Spent my first part of my career making animated series and films, and maybe that's why it bugs me
True.
so much.
She's been in the animation business for about 25 years, so that's true. That's
crazy.
She was
true.
great.
No, I'm kidding. Wait, no. So
Anyway,
then
it's
what's
not my
no,
favorite.
Hold on. Before we move on from that, though, so then what is your favorite animation movie?
Favorite animated movie of
where
all
you thought
time?
It was, where you thought it was executed well.
Land Before Time. I'm going back to 2D.
Yeah,
Land
no,
Before
it's fine.
Time.
That's fine. That's why I said 25 years. No.
Oh, shut your-
that movie came out 25 years ago.
That was the question I was asked when I was hired by Lucasfilm Animation, and they said, "What's your favorite animated movie?" And that's it, and I'm sticking to it. It has been that and The Jungle Book. I'm tied with the old classics. Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, you like to sell him. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay.
2D. I think there's some prize storytelling happening, and that's what really matters to me. Is the
Well,
storytelling.
something else that dropped that's a non-Netflix release, and I actually didn't watch it. I wanted to get to it, but I had so much other stuff to watch, and I just saw it in the theaters. It came out over the summer. Is Thor Ragnarok?
Oh yes.
So I mean, I don't know if anybody actually like watched it now that's been released again on Netflix, but I'll get there. But we don't really need to talk about that much because it's Thor Ragnarok. It's
Meh.
Marvel, so
It's all right.
I will say if you've seen the most recent Avengers,
Yes.
I don't know how, like, I feel like that kind of paints Thor Ragnarok differently. When you think
it's a different type of Marvel film.
well, but no, I'm saying like Thor Ragnarok is great, but like the ending was such a high note, and then just the way Avengers happens, you're like, oh,
Well, Avengers
Cool.
is like a part one, so
Yeah.
All right.
but yeah, I cannot complete my thought without spoiling things, so I won't.
All right, guys. Well, we always enjoy that you're watching, that you're in the chat. I don't know who's in the chat at the moment, but you guys can also listen to us on iTunes. Download us there. Please give us 5 stars. And if you do, I'll give you a shout out. Like I'm about to give a shout out to the people that are in our chat right now. Who do we got?
Zayas B. Lou is in the chat.
Zayas, there you are.
He loved Coco and thought Cars 2 was pretty bad. I agree, Cars 2 is
Yeah,
probably the
yeah.
worst.
Cars 2 was awful.
Garbage.
It
Keep
was
going.
just a soulless
Keep
cash
going.
grab. Drew Belbin is in the chat. I'm sure we know who that person is. Serenity
Hi.
Q26 in the chat.
Hey.
So Chill 4 in the chat. And
So Chill.
Brad 2007-12 13
Brad, it sounds like you're a
Hey,
new,
yeah, welcome,
new
Brad.
visitor.
bringing,
Welcome.
yeah, yeah.
bringing
Alicia.
us bringing us some
about to-
hot takes that are unconfirmed, which is 13 reasons why I
they-
got picked up for season 3.
They are.
That's
Yeah.
confirmed.
Confirmed.
Yeah.
Confirmed by
There's
Which
a lot of
which is a lot
controversy.
faster than normal for Netflix shows. Like that one just dropped like 2 weeks ago, and they're already saying, "Hey, we are picking it up for season 3," which is not a normal thing for Netflix. So that says something about either their belief in a season 3, the fans, the viewings that are going on for it. So keep in mind. However, we did have in terms of hidden gems and revisits that we're going to get to right now. This one isn't a fun one, but in terms of you should watch a show, but it's not around a fun topic. Is Ashley Chaney? I'm going to let you take it over.
Yeah, I mean, it is a fun topic, but it's
Fun show.
We would be remiss to not talk about the loss of Anthony Bourdain, who is certainly a personal hero, and I'm sure many of you share that sentiment. It's really important that if you guys want to watch his Parts Unknown while they're on here, it is leaving Netflix on June 16th, so you got to get on it. You have like a week left of Anthony Bourdain, Parts Unknown. The series is phenomenal. Before he was gone, like I'm actually getting emotional. Before we lost him, it would have been great to watch them, but I think now it holds a special place to go back and see it through the lens of this person who is so special and touched so many people. I mean, everybody I've talked to is like massively affected by this person, which I don't know that I would realize what an effect he had on so many people. I mean, everybody I talked to is like, oh, he's a hero, a personal, icon or legend, but someday I hope to emulate him, and even in just the tiniest little way. Parts Unknown, every single episode is fantastic, but particularly I love the Sicily episode. I think that's a really great one to watch, but you can't go wrong with anything that the great and late Anthony Bourdain is hosting, because he was a true master of writing and taking us along for the journey. So he is sorely missed, but make sure you catch his shows before they leave Netflix on June 16th.
Yeah, and the big thing is it's not just a food show. This is a guy who uses food to introduce people to culture and to educate you and to make people understand, that there's more than it's not just food that he's talking about. Oh, this thing's so scrumptious. It has nothing to do with, that's a part of it, but it's also about just like the people and how the food came to be and taking us to places where you may not ever go there, but it's just amazing to hear about it just through his, and like, who doesn't love sitting down? And that's what we do, right? We sit down and we eat food and we talk to each other.
Well, yeah, I think food is something that connects us all. We all need food to live and survive. And I think what Tony did differently from every other host is that rather than showing us, like Sicily, for example, he's in it and he's experiencing it, and he's like diving deep into like being a part of the place that he's visiting, whether it's through food, whether it's through conversation with somebody on the street. It's so much less about showing you a place rather than, he truly takes us on the journey with him to some really incredible places and incredible dishes too, which the foodie in me will always love.
Yeah.
Makes me hungry.
But
Think about it.
Amy, you also watched Adult World.
Yes, I did. Yes.
Tell me about this.
What's
because I have
Adult World about?
idea what this is.
Okay, here. This is one of those where I clicked on it and I was like, all right, show me what you got. Emma Roberts is in it. I was already like, this is Nancy Drew. This is Fabulous, right? Back in the day. It is actually really good, guys. Really good. It is about a recent college grad. We're talking 22, and she's with her parents, and she's a poet, and she's trying to get published, and she's having a lot of difficulties. Her parents basically kick her out, and she's trying to find out what to do. She finds a job at an adult store called Adult World.
Okay, so that was what I was thinking.
Yeah, no, it's great. And she's actually, get this, she's a virgin when she goes in to the store and starts working there. And by the time it's over, she's not.
Who's opposite her?
Wait,
John Cusack and Evan
John
Peters.
Cusack, yeah.
John
Evan
Cusack is her dad?
Peters.
Or
Evan Peters, her real
Okay.
life.
Exactly.
Like John Cusack. What?
John Cusack is in it.
weird.
Makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's actually interesting. John Cusack plays kind of an interesting character, not her dad. He's actually a poet that she strongly admires.
Oh God.
And
it is weird.
it is weird. Yeah, but it's good. Like, do not dismiss it because it kind of sounds funky. I would say go watch it because it does sound kind of funky, and it'll surprise you.
93 minutes, it's got me.
Yeah, and it's very relatable to people that are trying to, build their little...
Trying to what? Spice up.
No, it's, trust me, do not dismiss it. Do not think like you, Ashley. No, it's relatable to people that are trying to do something with their lives, that it's not your normal 9-to-5 job where you have to go out and figure out your own path. And that's exactly what she has to do, and she's great. It's fun.
It's got a good cast.
It sounds like it definitely sounds like a coming of age story through the, using, I guess, the tool of a weird setting such as an adult.
Here's the thing, and it doesn't lean too much into it. It really doesn't. Like, it scares you a little bit because it's adult world, but I saw it, guys, and I felt totally comfortable.
So it's not.
It's not.
It's not about our sexual awakening.
No, it's not. It's not. It's more about everything else, and it's really good. So go watch it because I found a movie and I was like, no, not that one. And then it shows you the recommendations. Okay, maybe that one. No, not that one. And then just really dug deep for this one. So I really hope that you guys would give it a try.
And that's why it is a hidden gem.
Gotta dig deep for them.
So, some Netflix news. Dolly Parton. It's funny that there's what?
Jolene.
Grace and Frankie. There's Grace and Frankie that's on Netflix, which is Dolly Parton and Lily Tomlin. So the other triumvirate person for 9 to 5 would be Dolly Parton. So now she's getting a anthology series based on her songs. And the funny thing is at the Grace and Frankie panel, before this was announced, Lily Tomlin accidentally let this out of the bag.
Did
first
she?
On a panel. So they were kind of like, okay, I guess we better release this information because someone else already did. Because they were talking about, would you ladies have a reunion? Which, in the theatrical world, there will be a reunion of a remake of 9 to 5. Dr. Ken Jeong, he is getting a comedy special. Called tentatively called First Date.
I haven't seen him in a while. I don't know what he's up to.
Well, he is doing. Well, he finished a show and he has a kind of a Dr. Oz comedic Dr. Oz type show that's going to be on one of the cable networks, and then he's got this. So this is an actual comedy special of him, like when he was doing stand up.
Okay.
Like everybody else, like Tig Notaro.
Sure.
And,
Lots of stand-up specials.
and then some of the lady that has left ABC to get a lot of money from Netflix. We've talked about Ryan Murphy, but Shonda Rhimes. She has said this is what her series is going to be that she's working on right now, and it's about Anna Delvey, who scammed a lot of people, pretending that she was like some sort of a socialite or something. So people gave her money and all these things, and so that's what Shonda Rhimes is basing her new series on.
Okay, I'm excited to see that. I'm really excited about that Dolly Parton. I love Dolly.
Was anyone else really worried in that wind-up? Like, someone who recently left ABC got a bunch of money from Netflix. Like, please not Roseanne, please not Roseanne. Oh God, please not Roseanne.
We love Netflix.
And then next week, top 5 releases. Set It Up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Portlandia season 8 actually dropped today. The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. This is Heath Ledger's last movie. Voltron season 6 and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 5.
Set It Up looks like Amy will definitely watch that movie.
Yes, you will be watching
might
it.
not actually because it looks like awful.
It does look.
You'll be watching it.
Don't tell me what to do.
People's last film usually aren't great. Like,
you know what? I didn't watch it because I was still heartbroken. You're talking about the Imaginarium, right? Okay, of Dr. Parnassus. I want to watch it because it's been a while now, and I think I'm curious. Have you guys seen any?
Okay, you know what? Next week, watch us because we will talk about Set It Up, and we will definitely talk about the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus.
Yes.
I saw it when it came out. I'll revisit it, or at least these guys will revisit it. We'll talk about it. But Amy Cassandra Martinez, where can everybody find you?
On all social media at Amy Cassandra MTZ.
and I'm Steve Kaufman. You can find me on Twitter almost exclusively. That is at Steve Kaufman, KAUFMANN.
Guys, thanks for watching tonight. You can find me online across all social media at Ashley on Camera, and let's talk about what you're eating and what you're watching there. Ashley on Camera.
And I'm Rick Hong. You guys can follow me on all social media at Rick Hong, RECKHONG. And tune in Wednesday as I cover the Legion finale, season 2. Until next time, we will see you guys same time, same place, right here, Netflix Picks. Thanks for tuning in.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.